neuropharmacist is definitely a new role, profession, specialism, etc. So most of the audience watching this, you won't have a clue how a pharmacist qualifies, specializes, etc. So let me explain that. So at 18, as you would choose medicine, nursing, etc., you can choose to go to do a pharmacy degree, and you do a 4-year pharmacy degree, and then you do a year training. And this is as we talk currently, because it is going under some sort of changes in the future. And then most people will either go into hospital or community and do a year of training in that year as a foundation trainee pharmacist. You then qualify, and for most of us at neuropharmacists, we've been in hospital pharmacy, or we've done training. Now, to then get a neurospecialist as a specialism, you kind of just fall into it. A job appears. I did not need to have any qualifications in neurology or know anything about neurology to gain the position as neurospecialist pharmacist at my trust. It just sort of, the job was there, applied for it and got it. But to be honest, I knew where the brain was because it's in your head, and that's it. I didn't know anything about anything to do with neurology, and that was over a decade ago. And unlike other colleagues, such as cardiac, oncology, HIV, rheumatology, there wasn't networks in place. And so there were the specialist interest group in the UK CPA, which is the UK Clinical Pharmacy Association. There wasn't like a network that actually you could text people or meet people. I didn't know another neuropharmacist in the country. Most hospital teams would have been single-handed over a decade ago. So somebody set up a meeting of neuropharmacists, and it was the pharma industry that actually knew the different neuropharmacists. It was us that didn't know each other. So someone sponsored a meeting. We all got together, and then since then we have grown. So from having a room of 8 pharmacists in a room around a decade ago, we've now got an email group of over 50 people. We've got over 200 people on a UK CPA group that say they have an interest in neurology. Some of those will be like the elderly pharmacists that see Parkinson's patients, say, but actually there's people with an interest in neurology. And I've recognized the benefit of a network is I could go and discuss with a cardiac colleague, etc., about neurology drugs, and they will look at me and like, what are you talking about? Because it's a different ballpark. Their trials, their issues that they come up with are very different. A lot of the new drugs used in neurology are off license, or outside of the label. So, and used in not weird and wonderful ways, but you based on common sense and based on first degree research, which is unlike many other clinical specialities. So there was the benefit of the network. So we set together the email group. We've got a London group of pharmacists because in London, as everyone in the country will know, London is very unique and we have a lot of neuroscience centres very close together. So we have a specific London group because it was just easier to meet face-to-face prior to the pandemic. But now actually we meet virtually. But the power of the network has been unbelievable. We have saved the NHS money as in when people have had drugs expiring on the shelf, and often these are high-cost drugs, we have made sure they're moved to a centre that will use the drug rather than expire. So we've saved the NHS considerable amounts of money. We have made sure the patients don't get delayed and missed doses because we've been able to move doses across the country, across the region. We have shared protocols. We've just shared knowledge and avoided that duplication of effort. The NHS, academia, research, we are great for duplicating effort. Everyone is sitting there writing a protocol for a new drug. Everyone's protocol looks roughly the same. The heading at the top will be different because it will be a different trust name, but it's basically the same. So we're actually sharing those documentation and sharing those, it makes it much more useful, but also allows for the mentorship. So people coming new into neurology then can just watch the email group and see the questions that come up. They don't need to say anything. It is a safe space. No one is judged for what they say. No question is silly. No question is stupid. It is a case, but also we provide one-to-one mentorship for those that have asked for it and needed it. But in addition to that, the biggest, I think, testament to our strength is that the centres that don't have neuropharmacists are now asking us for job descriptions and for asking us, how do we get one of you? And I'm like, no, you don't mean one of me, you mean a neuropharmacist. And actually, we've been able to develop new roles in centres where neuropharmacists haven't existed, which is great, because it's all very well for a neuropharmacist to say, neuropharmacists are great. Yeah, I'm obviously going to say that. But actually, when you've got other professions realising our worth, pharmacy is very uniquely positioned. A lot of our training is on safety, risk, governance, etc. We understand the commissioning rules, which seem to change every 30 seconds. We have a feel for those, which can help the team. And it's embedding the neuropharmacist into the neurology team and MS team, which has been key. And my one tip to any team that has a neuropharmacist that doesn't have this already is make sure you are part of the line management and objective setting and development of your neuropharmacist. So they are embedded into the team. They take part in research, audit, your publications, etc. Your neuropharmacist will have a wealth of data that will help you with your research, your audits, your whatever you need. So work together, but also it means that their day job is way more interesting too.